going on? Let's go, gang. Let's go get into... Let's go see what we got going on here. Today, we are talking with F-bombs for you. About being failed streamers. Pretty, meta conversation off of the back of, feudalist hierarchy of online politics, which has been received pretty well. I'm really thankful for everybody that watched it, and all the kind words and not so kind words. It's all been pretty great. Almost monetizing the channel, pretty goddamn close. Just need, I think, 1,000 more watch hours, but I can't tell if that's because it's just updating really slowly. Because the video has almost like 3,500 hours on its own. But yeah, I guess here's the green room. We'll wait for F-bombs to bring us in. I don't know how long this is gonna take for him to drag me in. Maybe we can watch a video before he drags me in. Let's see. Weird, why isn't it popping up? There we go. DK... What is this shit? DK Syndicate? What's this new DK video? Is it any good? Mr. Girl can't keep his story straight. Little 3-minuter while we're waiting.
So, Mr. Girl has wheeled out his freak again. He'll usually let Shaylin out of the cage.
Alright. Let's turn the... Oh, we're already at 360p. Great. Internet's just trash. Alright, let's go.
To come speak on streams whenever he needs an optics win, but somehow, this time, he managed to turn that into an even worse optical loss. Very impressive. Shaylin says, Destiny has claimed that I am Max's employee, and that I am financially dependent on him. Both are false. While Max does hire me for occasional contract work, it is not a primary source of income for me, and the slave driver drawing was a freebie. So off this tweet, we pretty much just have to take her at her word. I mean, we can't prove where the majority of her income is from unless there's a clip out there of her saying she only works for Max or something like that.
Oh, shit.
However,
So
Max
dumb.
manages to turn this into
I'm
a
in F-bombs chat now. I'm such a goober. Okay, let me get in here. Sorry. Hey, sorry about that.
Hey, Will. What's going on, man?
Not much. How are you? Here, let me get the camera on and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on here.
Boom. Sorry, disregard my message.
Oh, no worries. No worries at all. Let's see. About.
Nice. Discord did not crash. Let's go. First win of the day. Yeah, I always have this weird issue when I do my virtual camera. but it's whatever.
Okay, so Will, tell them who you are.
I'm Will from Will and his channel, creators of such famous videos as the Extreme Daddy Festo and now Feudalist Hierarchy of Online Politics. How's everybody
Yo,
doing?
your video is out of control, Will.
Um, I mean, yeah, it's really blown basically any expectation that I could have possibly had for it.
What were you thinking when you made it?
3,500 views max.
Okay, so you did think it would be your best performing video.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had faith. You know, I knew that it was better than the Extreme Daddy Festo. I didn't think it would catch on like that hard.
What do you think has done it?
I think it resonates with a lot of people that feel very similarly to how I feel about online politics. And how like they feel how they feel the grind set. You know, people that you and me, like, obviously we don't even know who they are, but then I see them commenting on my video, and then I check out their YouTube channel, and I'm like, fuck, man, like this is like the same. This dude's doing the same shit. Like he's just on the grind set, like trying to do random streams to like 3 people. You know, I don't know. I hope that inspired some
Why do you
people to
think
maybe
that
go out
is?
there and try and make some shit.
Why do you think that? Why do you think there are people that are talented that can make decent content that just go nowhere? I mean, I know your video pretty much says that, but more to a point, because there's people outside of the genre that we're in that have similar experience. So, like, what do you think the difference is, or why do some less entertaining people make it as compared to? I've seen some great edited videos that have 300 views.
I'm some element of it I think has to be like just the community you're in, I think, or that you're trying to make the video for, or like who the video appeals to, you know. Like another part of like YouTube I'm really into is like the film photography community on YouTube, right? And like a big film photographer YouTuber is like 2 or 3 thousand subscribers, and like the biggest
Mm.
one is 200,000 subscribers, right? Um, but it's like you see a lot of people making extremely high quality cinematography, you know, video, because they're
Right.
camera guys, camera people. So who, you know, at that point it's like, who cares about the quality? Your audience is so small, you know.
Well,
um
this is where you get into, like, if you're trying to do this for an income, the time trade-off to the value of it isn't there.
yeah.
And would you say you per, per, disproportionately put more time into this video than other videos?
Yes. um I almost don't know if that was the video's fault though. Like people, I'm getting a lot of flack because people are like, you made this video in 6 months, things like that, you know. I think the reason this video took 6 months is because, like, I needed to take 6 months to make this video. Like, things happened in my streamer slash content creator slash real life that really made me just sit back and be just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, you know, why am I
Okay.
making this shit? You know?
How is where you are now different from where you thought you would be when you started?
I think the
Let me
thing
rephrase that.
is,
Where did you think?
no,
How
yeah.
long's it been? How long's it been?
Been since what, I guess, is the
When
question.
did
Like,
you
making
start
content
making
or
content?
streaming?
Yeah,
Um,
start making content.
I've been kind of making content, like, my whole life. But YouTube, past couple years. Really
And why did?
seriously.
What was the purpose?
Originally, uh, you know, like, if I had infinite money, all I would do is make music and shoot film photography. So originally, the communities that I was trying to get into were these film photography kind of YouTube communities. But it's not like they have discords or anything. There's not like interactions between the people, rather than like just kind of through Instagram comments or,
So
you know,
there's no
YouTube comments
community
or.
engagement with each other.
Right. It's kind of just like, if you know, you know, you watch like the same like 15, 20 film photographers on YouTube that are, you know, fantastic. Yeah.
And do you think that's why the success is so sparse because they don't interact and cross promote and do the orbiter thing?
The thing is that they kind of do the orbiter thing. Like there are videos, you know, where it's like Willem Verbeek and Matt Day and, you know, Linus and his camera, and they're all in Los Angeles shooting film photography together, right? And then that turns into 3 YouTube videos, and those are Instagram posts. It's like I don't think necessarily this orbiter mechanic is it's just related to online politics, but I wanted to make sure that I set the scope for the video to just be one thing.
Well, so I'll go back to the question. It sounds like you started a bit as a passion project. At what point did it become, I want to try to make money on it?
I think there's obviously always been some element that's like, I want to make money off of this. But it's not like
Okay.
I want to make money off this. It's that I'm an artist and I want to get paid for the shit that I make. Because, like, I'm an artist, you know? Eventually I'm going to need to have a patron, or, you know, I'm going to need to make some Skrilla, or I'm just going to die lonely like Van Gogh, you know? And Van Gogh is my favorite painter, but that dude lived a
Yeah,
shitty life,
I hear
you know?
that. I hear that. Um, the when and I'm not gonna get on the subject. I'm trying to get a time frame. I'm just warning that I'm not about to be a dick about this. Um, oh no, the stream tag is me, sick. I'm the Jew. Um, the okay, when you first started using an editor, was that before or after the Daddy Festo video?
After.
Okay, so the successful video was your editing, and you were willing to give up the editing side to do the creation side. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'd say that's a part of it. It's just, you know, coming to the realization of like, it's not even the realization. It's just I had this idea that, you know, I had to be this thing. Like I needed to be the streamer that like could make clips and like edit all this shit and like put it out on a daily basis, you know? Um, and I work a full-time job that's, you know, pretty serious on top of all this shit, you know, that's why.
What field of work?
Uh,
I mean, you can go as
yeah, no, it's fine. It's it's still like content creation, honestly. Like I make media for other people, like freelance, on
okay,
top of
okay,
like I work full time, yeah, doing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
okay. Um, so you wanted to make content because I mean, it's like if you wash dishes all day long, you really don't want to spend all night washing dishes at your own house. And so it sounds like you saw there was a possibility for you creating content and there being money from it, or getting paid from your content. So you took a portion of the order of operations to make a video, and you replaced the editing side with somebody else, thinking you'd still be able to do Daddy Festos, but without having to do the editing.
I think there's that element, but also just, you know, understanding that, you know, stay in your lane. I've never really been like a clip this, clip that like kind of guy. Like my mind doesn't really it can function that way if I have to, right? You know, if someone's paying me to do it. But like if it's for me, it's for my passion project, it's for my stupid 500 YouTube view channel, you know, I have to be extremely enjoying it, you know? But I was looking at this thing and I'm like, okay, well people like fuck with what I do. They get it, kinda. And I was just thinking, hey, maybe I could be, you know, I could be more meta. I could get more in the algorithm, you know, and this person wants to do it, and they, you know, they, you know, Max is really like knows a lot about the internet. Like they are like a lore master of a really special kind, honestly. Like as much as
Well, so
we might have some
that being
beef, you know,
said,
but so they know shit
that
like how to clip stuff up and do and really, you know, do that
well
well.
that being said, this is like where we get into the meat of this. Um, I don't know, Sick. That's a good question. We could probably do that. We could probably do that at if you're willing to stay. Do you have time more than an hour?
I would say I have a hard out at 6 o'clock. 6 p.m.
Okay.
PST, so that'd be hour 15 from now.
Okay. So yeah, we could probably do something sick. Okay. So you got to a point where you had an editor and the content you were making wasn't getting results. Like it had been a long, like what I'm doing right now, okay? Because I don't have any help and I'm only willing to put in so much time. When I do my stream, I have like 5 to 8 different segments. What the hell? I have
I'm
5 to 8 minute segments I do preset so that I can do those segments. I might mention like and subscribe during the segment. And then after the stream, I cut them up into YouTube videos. None of them are very good. They're all just like, here's a news story, here's a news story, blah, blah, blah. I chop them up. I make thumbnails, descriptions, tags, and I port them over to YouTube. And I try to have like 2 a day go live. None of them are very good. None of them get a lot of watch time. Some of them, I'm just trying to link into setting the algorithm into what I do. So
How's
I
that worked
know,
out so far?
well, it's growing. Some videos get like quick attention. Um, I haven't made any videos that I think are worth asking somebody to watch. They're averaging maybe 100, but some will get 1,500, some will get 1,000, some will get 500, some will get 7, right? So I'm only looking at what I'm doing input wise and checking how it's being noticed by YouTube. That's all I can really afford to do at the moment without somebody being able to edit the content into better video. So what you're saying, there was enough time for you to like, here's what's going on. I could be tracking what's going on. I'm getting suggestions about how to improve. And yet at the same time, I'm not changing and I'm not improving. And it seems like you made a conscious decision about what to do at that point. Would that be, I'm trying to stall until you unmute. Would that be
No,
fair
I'm
to
just listening.
say?
When I mute, it's because my fucking keyboard is like
No,
loud as
I
shit,
figured.
and
I
I
was
just
just,
don't want you to hear. I'm sorry.
I
Like
didn't
you can
want to
just talk.
interrupt
I'll
the
unmute.
mess.
No, you're fine.
I didn't want to interrupt the message. Would you say you made a conscious decision after a couple months that you were okay with the lack of growth?
Uh,
Or
was
did
I
you think,
okay? Was I okay with the lack of growth?
did you think if you just continued to do what you were doing without taking the advice of other people, did you think it would catch on? Or did you say, I'm just going to make what I want to make, and if it works, it works?
I believe in. I thought that. I still think that if I make content, that I want to make, that if I can kind of keep like a consistent feel, look, quality, a thing to it, I don't know, the will in his channel touch. If I can keep that and keep improving upon it, I will. I believe in this social media theory called tribe theory, which is basically the idea that there are billions of people in the world. The world is your oyster. You're just trying to get a tribe of enough people to make you sustainable.
You're not
To
saying
basically
tribe
launch your
because
career.
I'm not saying
No,
tribe because I'm Jewish, are you? No, I'm just
I'm so
teasing.
dead. No. But it like a it's like an actual sociological
Right.
media strategy.
Your people will find you.
Correct. Yeah, if you build it, they will come eventually. And then there's some aspect of that though where like you're not thinking about marketing, which is some aspect too. You need to be able to like market what you build to people. That's something I've always really sucked at. So like I guess what I really was, I my main plan with that whole thing was I'm going to stream content that I enjoy streaming. I'm gonna try to do it in the most high quality way possible, and then my editor will clip it into the most high quality bits, whatever, and then post it. But then, I mean, so I'm fine with like the growth that we're getting, or that that like I was okay with it because I wasn't really expecting the world. Like my content's not fantastic. I'm not the best streamer. I only get 2 or 3 live viewers each time. Like pretty much like what you're getting. I was getting like 200 max views on a thing. Um, but I was enjoying what I was doing. But I could just tell, like, that you can. There's more that I could do, right? I could game the system harder. I could sell it out. I could do more meta content, and that would be better for my channel, and then that would be better for my editor in the long term, and that
Right.
would be better for my viewer growth. That's kind of a lot of pressure,
Well,
especially when I didn't want to, I didn't even want to make really. When these content suggestions were coming, it's hard for me to be like, I'm a rational person. I know this is a good idea. I'm just not gonna fucking take your idea because fuck this shit. I would hate to make this content. And
well,
so yeah.
would you hate to make this content, or I would hate to be seen as this is what I make?
No, I'd hate to make this content. Legitimately. For I'm trying to do this thing on my YouTube channel right now where I'm going through and I'm just deleting shit that like I don't want this to be like what I'm gonna push forth anymore. There's still things like where I watched like the Andrew Tate Vice video. Like
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do things like that, and post that, like that was a great time. Like I had a super fun time doing that. And I think like it shows in my stream. And then I think it shows in my view count too. And that might be algorithm too, but like it stuck. Like I got a pretty decent amount of subs, at the time for my channel, like for that video. So I just want to do more things like that. I want to stay true to me, to the tribe that I'm trying to build. And to do that, it might not always be the most monetarily minded.
Well,
So I might
it
just need to run
sounds
this on my own.
this it all reminds me of like the artist, like musicians who it's selling out to make a radio hit because that's not the music they make, but part of a encompassing marketing strategy is you have to attract eyeballs. Like
Yeah.
you don't have control of your growth if you're not the one, if you're beholden to an algorithm or other people for the eyeballs, then you're beholden to the algorithm and the other people for your success, which I think basically was the conclusion of your video. And you had said you would like to do things outside of this ecosphere. What do you mean by that?
So I would say, like, I say, getting a king, lord, or knight or whatever, that's all the same thing. And then the other one is the algorithm, in my opinion. And then you run the algorithm until maybe you create your own little side meta that becomes popular. So I am kind of just trying to leave the online politics meta specifically that we kind of all find ourselves in, like just as much fun as they are
Is
to
it even
watch
a
sometimes,
politics
like,
meta, or is it
I
just
don't
like a
no, not
daytime soap
really.
opera?
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it really is
it's
though.
more
Yeah.
daytime soap opera. 'Cause nobody's
Yeah.
talking. I'm sorry, but talking about trans people every single day isn't politics. It's Fox News.
True. Yeah, I mean, to some regard, right? It's pure ideology that you watch every night. Um, yeah.
Politics would be, I mean, sadly, I probably do more politics than most. Like we read articles, we talk about bills, but we do it in a how to understand your mom, your granddad, your uncle, your neighbor who has become MAGA, and you can't understand how they believe things that don't make any sense to you. And Chud even says, like, you have to accept this is their reality. Like, people who have these outrageous beliefs, they don't think they're outrageous, they think it's real. And that's really true with anybody, whether their beliefs are what you talked about so far, or their beliefs that you're really just an alien in human skin. It whatever those beliefs are, they're as real to you as they are to somebody, like somebody else's beliefs are to them.
Definitely.
And when you're talking about, you see where the opportunities are, I think what's being left out for most people is, if this was a business, how would you approach it? And is it different than what you're doing as a content creator to make money? Because
Yeah.
to me, a content creator to make money and a business are the same fucking thing, but a content creator works more like an employee than they do a business owner. And I'm trying to figure out, one, why that is, and two, how to change that.
Yeah, no, like if I was like managing this like how I do like my IRL job, like it's a totally different complete, and for me at least it's a completely different thing. Does it have to be? No. Um but like when I'm at work, you know, I'm getting paid, like they want me to use every trick in the book. You know, they want me to be as meta as humanly possible to attract as large an audience as possible that, you know, is going to buy some shit, you know? Um I maybe am very blessed that like I haven't, like the I don't rely on this to make money, and that I didn't get, like I didn't start doing something that like I hated, and then all of a sudden it started making me a shitload of cash. Like, cuz then that would be just like, yeah. So I
So,
don't sorry. So I don't know if I like
no, good.
I don't know if that answer.
No, like, so, but so here's the thing. It's at that point, it's technically a hobby, because you'd let nobody gets a job in hopes that they'll make money. Like, they get a job because they're going to make money. A lot of people start doing content in hopes something will work out, and they treat it like that forever. And even once it gets to a point they make money, they don't turn around and treat it the same way they would a business. They still look at it as like freelance. And I think this is where, for me, I as when I have a goal, I'm very disciplined at it. When I don't have a goal, I'll just do whatever I want. And the thing that I hear from a lot of content creators is a comparison of, like, I'm looking at this level of effort and thought process, but I want this business level of success. And a lot of people think they're going to go from the bottom of the ladder to the top of the ladder without climbing the ladder. And there are steps to climbing the ladder that you implement in business that you don't implement on a channel for some reason.
Me
And
specifically?
well, everybody, but I'm talking to you specifically. Why is it so different mentally? When here's the let me make it easier to answer. You don't have to do content creation because you have a job that makes it so you don't have to depend on content creation. If you wave the magic wand, would you rather do content creation than have your job?
Fuck yeah.
Then why look at it the way you do, instead of look at it, I'd like to replace my job in 3 years from now. Here's the steps necessary to do that.
Cuz I don't want this to like turn into my job.
Well,
I
then,
know I hear me out for like I know some like wedding photographers. I think this might only be, maybe this is most relevant to creative fields, but not
okay.
just to creative fields. Because I know some welders that like.
Yo, you just broke. You just broke. Your mic just is like crackling.
Fuck. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, that's better.
Did that semi fix it?
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah,
Okay, if
you
it
were
does it again, let
literally
me know.
yeah, you were literally just like static on a TV. Um, okay, you were saying, sorry,
No, it's totally cool. I think that
wedding photographers that you know.
there are some wedding photographers that I know that like they live, eat, breathe photography, weddings, connecting people like that. Very few people in this world have a job that is not a job. I know people that are like that. They go traveling. They fucking love their lives slash jobs.
Right.
I know that that's a lot of people are like, oh, that's they can never do that. It's horseshit. You 100% can. It's very difficult. It's very rare. And in my opinion, if you waver on it, even slightly, you will fail. You must be determined to not make your job your job. And I think that's the gaming of it, is that if I keep trying to gain this like success by just gaming it, by trying to turn it into a job as quickly as humanly possible, it will just become a job. Like, yeah. And I want to try to stay away from that as possible to like retain the creative integrity, I guess, of what I'm doing in some way.
Yeah, are you willing to do that at the expense of not making it?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're doing the right thing. Like the way I look at what I'm doing right now, okay, what I was originally trying to accomplish for, not the last month, but the previous 9 months, right, was to build a network of creators and to build a marketplace of shows to help feature those creators while also help fill in with people that can help them with their technology, with their artwork, with their editing, with their moderation, with their content plans, all of that. And what that would do is allow a bunch of smaller creators to not need a king, basically. That there would be a place like panels to come try to market yourself, to meet other people as a networking space, but not just as that, as something that created entertaining content that drew eyeballs on its own so that there was value in coming to the show, so that we could attract bigger people to do stuff with smaller people and it not be about like politics or a panel show, a debate, it not have to be a shit show. It could be entertainment that wasn't a soap opera. But frankly, this space is so fucking broken and the people are so fucking broken that there's not buy-in. It's not worth it. Um, if there was somebody that needed to do it, the opportunity exists. But I've been willing to give the information to people willing to do it. But much like you're sort of saying, I've been successful. I know the level of effort, commitment, time it's going to take to do what I was talking about. And I'm just not interested. I don't need the money. I don't I'm just not interested in banging my head against the wall instead of hanging out with 15 people doing the content I do. I'm just not, it's not worth it. But I do want to introduce an idea that I don't think other people have brought up and I don't think is in your video. The idea of why you need a king or why people are orbiters is really a prospecting funnel. Viewers are just customers. Doesn't matter if they're viewing your YouTube video or while you're live streaming, doesn't matter. Viewers are your customers because that's where you make your money. Whether it comes from them or ad revenue or partnerships or whatever, they're your customers. So going on panels or going on to another stream, all of this is just marketing as prospecting. How do I get eyeballs to look at my channel? Then you're trying to do convert from a prospect to a potential. So they get to your channel, they watch a video, they're a potential. Can you turn them into a customer by getting them to subscribe? Can you turn them into a paying customer by getting them to give you money? This is the process. So the reality is the value is the eyeballs. And so how do you get to the eyeballs? Right now, we're limited in our thought process of we need another content creator to get us eyeballs. What I think there is an opportunity to attract eyeballs to you from outside of the space, from people that aren't already account holders or don't know even our meta exists. So one example is I can go out and talk to Defengo and Lestat from Cicada. I can go out and talk to Gabe Hoffman, who has interactions with Ali Alexander and a lawsuit with him, but also funded and produced the movie An Open Secret about pedophiles in Hollywood. I can go out and talk to people that have been involved in stuff since the Oregon standoff and early Cicada and are being stalked. There's so many places you can go. You can go to journalists, you can go to politicians, you can go to local business owners and do a commercial for them. There are so many ways to attract eyeballs that we're not looking at. And I think that's the opportunity that's being missed. Thoughts?
I think in some ways it doesn't really matter how much we want to get away from the model of having to go through an orbiter or someone who already has a lot of built-in audience, but just the fact that, media and YouTube it's almost 20 years old at this point. It's like when TV first started. It was the first three that made the most cover, that owned the most channels. Um, so in that way, I really do feel like we are kind of fucked. It's just the viewer-based economy. Viewers have already decided what they like, and that taste is changing over time. And we kind of just have to... I don't know how much we can control that wave, or how much we just have to ride it and figure out what's the best shit at the time.
Well, let's take a look at that. So,
also the expanding network thing. Just really quick on that too.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think that it would be really cool for creators. The reality is that you have to be a certain level. You have to have a certain level of success before you can even get in the door with influential and cool people that you want to talk to. For the most part, like the really most influential people, you need to have some buy-in. And there are a lot of people in our space that I think have really interesting buy-in with certain people. And in my opinion, when they play on that is the most interesting content to me. Stardust and Richard Spencer, that is some good ass content. Mr. Girl, and whenever he talks to professionals in a field that actually know what they're talking about, that is really amazing content for me. And in some ways that's, kind of building out Mr. Girl's more professional network. Like there are, as scary as it is, there are like psychologists on Twitter that know who Mr. Girl is now and know to avoid him because of the psychologists that he's talked to on the internet, So I think that's just up to creators to get off their asses and just do it. Honestly, it's really difficult. Like I tried to contact. I wanted to talk to somebody from G4 when G4 went down, and that was really difficult. I tried to contact literally 10 to 15 different people, emails, Twitters. I probably seemed like a psycho, but I really wanted it, And I know for a fact, because I know someone kind of like closer to that was able to get something immediately after, and it's because they're 10,000 view
Connected.
person,
Yeah,
they're connected. It's fine. They have more audience. They have more buy-in.
Did
Why
you
do they want to
try
come to my 3-person stream? It's
Did
fine.
you
I'm a
try
terrible
I'm
streamer.
doing a school project? That works. I'm doing a project for my school.
Yeah,
That one worked.
I didn't try that one. Maybe next time.
Okay, so let's go to, if you were willing to turn this into a job, okay? If this was like all your other stuff that allows you to do this for side stuff, if all that went away, what would you do over the next 3 months to try to increase the likelihood you succeeded?
If I lost my main job, what would I do in the next 3 months to try to make sure that I succeeded here?
Yeah. Let's just say you decided this is what you were going to do. And like, that might not, it doesn't really make logical sense, but like, let's just say you decided the dichotomy of, I lost my job, I have to make this work. What would you do?
I guess, all right. I'm just okay. Yeah. So in the scenario, I just can't get another job. Like the realistic choice is I would just get another job.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
But let's
Sorry. Okay.
let's
Yeah.
go
What
to
would I
let's
do?
go to the Willy Wonka
I would
world.
I would meme. I would quite literally meme and try and meta my little ass out of the situation. Like I would just try and be probably as interpersonal. The other thing too is like I only know this space really, like content creation wise. So I probably would just be applying on all the all the dumb shit. Turn myself into a huge lol cow maybe. Like if I got to get that Skrilla quick, I mean the rent's due. I would
So
just be meta as fuck.
basically, you're saying you would kayfabe to the heel.
Maybe I don't know what that means to be honest.
Okay,
Kayfabe.
kayfabe is the wrestling term for when they come out and be the character they are, not who they like. They come out and they get the audience to hate them and cheer against them and boo them because like you need an antagonist, you need a bad guy, so you would just become the Chris Chan.
Maybe. I don't know, it's a bit of an odd question. I'm having a hard time like putting my mindset into it honestly, because it's like shitty. I don't know if it really leads to anything per se. At least
I mean, it gets you attention, but then what do you do with that?
well, I just mean even like the way that I answer it. It's like everybody knows that the meta is the best way to do shit. Everybody knows. I mean, the thumbnails
When you
even all
say
look
the
the
meta,
same.
you mean
Like
do drama, like talk about dramas, get people to fight, get people on stream to fight. Like I would
it's more than that too, though. Just like even like the way they design shit.
What do you mean?
Like thumbnails, titles.
Okay.
It's all, yeah. It, yeah.
Do you think there is room for somebody today to make it without playing that game? Or is that just luck if it happens? So you went away. We lost Will. We lost Will. You there? We lost you. Will has tech problems.
Goddamn.
I
I
do think
love
that's
having.
like an old style Casio watch on his arm. I can't hear you. You're muted. It
Yeah,
says
I
you're
like the
talking.
most.
Oh, there
I
you
have
go.
the most annoying audio setup of all time. I'm so
There
sorry.
you go.
So, fuck. Fuck. Where did I lose you?
I was saying, do you think?
Oh, is there room for someone to make it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think that there is room for. I think there's room for somebody to make it in this space with a different meta. But I also think that that has to coincide with the already extremely large number of people that watch online politics. Like, in my opinion, like at least in the Three Kingdoms and my thing, I think it's probably like might be I don't know, like 500, like 500 to 500 to maybe a million strong. Like everybody in the entire world that at least watches online politics, like occasionally. Um, at least in our space in the Three Kingdoms, I think there's room for somebody to maybe come up with a different meta, but it's going to also have to coincide with all those like million people. Like their taste is going to have to shift too. And I think what you're really seeing now is like it's the shorts. Like Destiny's TikTok is like pretty on fire. Because we can just clip out these little things and put them on TikTok. And yeah.
So I mean, there is a marketing strategy that you can follow that can increase the likelihood. if you do shorts, if you do TikToks, if you lead it to your if you lead it to your main stuff, if you have call to actions, if you stay consistent, if you tag stuff, if you understand or work on SEO, like, but if you're an individual content creator, what's the likelihood you have the skill set, time, or ruach to go through all of that? Like, I have some editing skills, I have some networking skills, but I only have 24 hours in a day and I'm not willing to do that. So you need to be somebody that can do all parts of the job, and like, without luck, you need to be able to do all parts of that job. And I think that's just extremely rare. It's probably why so few make it.
Yeah. Like my degree is in media communications. So like just a lot of this stuff to me like isn't really new. Like I'm just like I'm honestly I'm actively rejecting it because like I know the dark side of how all of those tricks work and like how I can get inside your brain and do all kinds of dumb shit. And like you'll notice on like admittedly on feudalistic hierarchy, I was like we gonna turn the SEO up button on this bitch. And like you'll notice like I SEO'd the shit out of that video. If you look at my description and tags and shit. So you know what I mean? Like there's truth to it. Like if you know how to go on fucking the Google SEO thing and like figure out what you can type in, what other people search, etc. That is something that no one on our platform, I think, except maybe a few people, are actually tapping into.
And why do you think that is?
Well, because they're ignorant.
Well, so it's a knowledge set.
Yeah, no, I was agreeing with you. I was just saying, like, that's, like, to more bring,
Well,
to be more self-centered. Like, that's just why I reject it. Like,
you're helping reinforce the point I'm trying to make to other people, is you can say, just make good content or just do this. But there's also an easier ability to make Me Too, not Me Too like the movement, but like Me Too, like Mr. Me Too, like just copying. You can do the same thing everybody else does, but if you know how to use the tools, you can do more with it. And so you can either make really good content that takes off without cheating, or you can make whatever content and try to jake the system. And I think you're right. There is a general ignorance about that, but every other thing that goes along with this, like your thought process about moving people into a new meta, while I agree it's possible, if Kick can start as a new platform and attract eyeballs, then there are eyeballs that can be attracted to Twitch that aren't already on Twitch, especially with how small it actually is. So I think learning how to bring people to Twitch from outside of Twitch is as valuable as having a king.
Yes.
But nobody looks at it that way.
It's way harder.
Well,
it requires like
control
research.
Of it. It is harder. It is harder, but it's the one that you can like actually have some input in. You don't have input on how Trud's audience, Destiny's audience is going to react to you. You only have control over the actions you take that you think are going to have a ratio of results.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some of it's kind of the gambler's fallacy too. You know, I mean, people like they get their big ass hit off one video and then
it's
they're
like a musician. That's exactly
yeah.
what it is. It's exactly the same as a musician, and most of the musicians that make it nowadays do it because of a business strategy, I think, more than just being the most talented.
Yeah. Like, I mean, okay, I've already got like my next video that I'm going to put out in the next month kind of already like figured out. I know for a fact this video will get less views than my first video.
Okay.
It's just not gonna. There's some benefit that I was able to get Groypers, Voschites, and Daliban to watch my video at the same time. Like, I know this next video is not gonna be as banger
Now wait a minute. Wait a
view
minute.
wise. I mean, it's gonna be quality just as good, but it's not gonna get as many views, I think, as this
But
other video.
you've stumbled on something that I also don't think people take advantage of. If you know what you want is for Chud and Destiny and other people to watch your video when it comes out, then you do what movies do and you do what artists do, and you set the groundwork for when it's going to come out. You start to dig a little at people. You start to have clips come out about that. Like you set the stage for a premiere more than I'm going to make this video where you guys watch it. I don't think
Right.
people do. They don't plan ahead.
I think. I mean, that's true. I mean, there's an element of truth to that too. I agree. But just like, I think even like if I maximize my Chud Logic viewership, I think I'm only gonna get 3 or 4,000 views on a video, because I'm never
Yeah.
gonna get 100% of his audience. If I get 50% of it, fuck, that's insane. And I'm getting these numbers from his average YouTube views. You know what I mean? So those are kind of a similar audience. So like the fact that I'm at like 20K on this video is like kind of insane. Like blown all that
Well,
obviously
not
was
only that,
Destiny,
but you've
Vosh's,
gotten
and you know.
you've gotten almost 1,000 new. No, you've gotten like 500 new subs in the last 3 days.
Right. And like my hope is that I get a lot of comments that are kind of like, I used to be in this space and I saw this video and like I feel exactly like how you feel about getting out of this space. So maybe I'm getting lucky and I am tapping into like an audience that maybe really will enjoy like my
Well,
next video, because it
How
won't
does your
be
next
Dolly.
video relate? How does your next video relate to the people that you just talked about?
0%.
Then that's your problem.
Fuck them. I don't care. I'm out of the
Well,
space. Like that's the whole point, you know? Like this was my like love song, my love letter, like farewell
so
to like a space that,
what's the next
you know.
piece of content? What's the next genre?
It is like kind of philosophy, comedy, cinematography. That's kind of like the
So
feel.
shitty. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I'm hoping it would be like, maybe I can be like the male philosophy tube, but in a good
Okay.
way.
Well, let's talk about that for a quick second. Let's say you do new genre stuff. How will you grow without having to duplicate what your video said?
So how will I be able to how will I be
Your
able to
video
duplicate it
says you
without,
need an orbiter, you need to be an orbiter, you need a king, you need to do all this, and so
or the algorithm?
you're gonna move on. So now it's the same thing you could have done before leaving the meta. You're willing to do now. Why?
No, it's a different. I'm going to tap into the algorithm grader rather than specifically the online poll algorithm.
Oh, you're just going to make content based on what people want to see, not based on what you want to make.
I think it's a really I'm not even
I
trying
know
to be
it's
disrespectful. I
overly
guess it really like,
simplistic.
yeah, like there are people like Wendigoon.
Let me rephrase it. Let me say it
that's
better.
fine.
You're looking to fine tune the content you make inside of your passions that better match what people are watching.
Yeah, I know for a fact there's an audience of people out there that want to watch long form, thoughtful philosophy, conspiracy, you know, kinds of content like that out there. And I know that they're out there because I'm one of them. And I'm constantly looking for channels that make this kind of content. And the channels that I do watch are very successful. And it's not because they all jerk each other off. It's because they make insanely high quality content. And that is more what I want to lean into. Do they SEO their videos? Absolutely. But their video isn't popular because Destiny watched it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
yeah.
You're willing to tap into doing the SEO stuff in this new way, while it felt like you were using the dark forces if you use those tools to promote your political stuff.
Yeah, because the way that you promote the political stuff in this space is you're kind of nasty and you do kind of like bad shit. Like that's the meta in online poll is kind of greasy, as the Trailer Park Boys would say. Uh, so I'm just like I kind of want to get out of that. Like when I watch a Wendigoon or a Nexpo video or something like that, I never walk away and I'm like, oh yeah, fuck that person that did X, Y, and Z, or oh yeah, I can't wait to watch this person get owned when I click on this video, And
I mean, you're talking
like
about fulfilling content versus emotionally triggering content.
I want to trigger your emotions. I just want it to be because you're scared as fuck, or like maybe this makes you uncomfortable, rather than
Okay, that
I can't wait to see
that
this. I can't wait to see this person get dunked on. Like,
that
admittedly, that's like most shit.
so like the Mr. Girl process.
I am getting back to what Mr. Girl originally inspired me to do. And what happened, I got my first little like lick of success. I thought, hey, maybe I should change the way that I was doing shit before. But the reality was, long form, researched, extremely autistic, nuanced videos. I think that's really where the Will and his channel gold is.
Do
Not
you think
Will
it,
and
it
F-bombs have conversation about
no,
how
see,
failed they are.
well, see
Holy, like
this is the funny thing is like I've talked about this for almost a year now. The content I make will never be popular. This will never be popular because
why do you do
it's
it?
an what?
Why do you do it?
The reason I started making content was I, as a salesperson who has taught people how to train salespeople, one thing that I understand about society is they operate from a what's in it for me standpoint. And I was watching Vosh and everybody do debates, and just it hit me that nobody understands how to communicate anymore. In this new world that we're in, where facts will never penetrate somebody's core belief of ignorance, people need to change how they communicate. And so the first like little videos I made were just jokes, like how to communicate with Republicans. And it's like stop talking to them like they're logical. You know, if you're pro-life, then you must be against the death penalty, right? It's dumb shit like that about how to communicate with people that have nonsense beliefs that are incongruent. You can't explain to them about when a zygote is a soul. You just need to get them to face their core emotion. So I started just doing that. And part of the reason I did that is I was investigating what happened on January 6th. And to make a really long story short, I got actual confirmation from a group of attorneys working on the Eric Coomer case, which is a Dominion employee who's suing all the Trump attorneys and everything. And like after
The
reading all
voting
their
machines.
after reading all the depositions, I wrote them an email of something I thought they missed with an article. And they wrote me back the next day saying, yeah, we didn't have that. Thank you. And to me, it let me know I'm on it. And so I just started making videos on it. And that's I saw Owen from Telltale and I was like, oh, what's Twitch? And so I saw Twitch, and so that's how I started streaming. And I did a series on the road to January 6th, showing how the coup worked. And at that point, I realized there's actually a financial opportunity to not be a streamer, but to fill the gaps of why streamers aren't succeeding from a business standpoint. And at that point, I still had to stream for proof of concept, but I was really only doing it so that I could put these shows together and create a network that didn't have to survive on me being the creator. After I got sick and tired of like realizing, yo, these people just aren't on board with this. It's not going to work in this area. Now I do it because I need an outlet to like stop screaming at the news I read. Um, I enjoy the 10 to 15 people that hang out here. I don't really look at my analytics. I'm not trying to do any growth strategy. I'm not trying to network, or I'm not doing any of the things that are required at this point. I do this because I like conversations. I like sharing content. I miss doing entertainment stuff. I've done stand up, I've done improv. Um, I miss performing. Uh, so this is just an outlet for me to play a less Halo and sit on the couch less. I used to play ice hockey and do all kinds of stuff, but I have blood clots in my leg. So I can't really do sports anymore because my foot just goes numb. So I don't have much to do anymore. And this keeps me busy.
So it's like it's a hobby for you too.
Absolutely. Which is what makes me laugh when people are like, what could you teach anybody? You're not growing. Okay. Like, so if you know all the tools and just aren't using them, that means you don't know all the tools. It's a silly mentality of who's allowed to give advice, right, Danabo? But um it's I do this because I want to, and I reached out to you because I thought it was like an interesting video. And if you saw the stuff I was showing earlier, I was saying the exact same observations. Because
Parallels for sure, yeah.
when Destiny left, everybody was like, now what are we going to do? Where we get our viewers is gone. And it's like, that's
True.
the perfect example of the problem.
Mr. Girl too. I mean, like Mr. Girl had when he was on Twitch, he had all before he was banned, it was almost like between 700 and 900 viewers. Instantly, he got those 700 900 viewers, and even when Destiny came on, he kept them. And when he dipped, those 700 to 900 extremely active users went to YouTube, and the same thing with Destiny. And
That
that to me was really just the beginning of the end of the wonderful spot of online politics that I like cherished so much that like really got me to want to be in this space to begin with, you know?
well, so what I see is that you were going to say something.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. What I see is just like real estate, just like hairdressers, um, when you have a customer that is your customer, they follow you from place to place. If you are their service provider because they're a customer of the venue, then when you leave, they're gone. And what I would think is possible for people to do, like a Destiny, even Chud, where they can take what they've done and create a brand that can sustain beyond them. And whether, like, if Hassan stops streaming, that revenue stream just ends. And it ends for everybody down the line that mooches off of that tea. So even if you are an orbiter, you're still beholden to both the platform and the king. And
Oh yeah.
so everybody should be looking at, how do I foster my own customer base and not my customer base comes from them? Like, it can come from them, but it still needs to go through from a prospect to a potential to a customer to a paying customer. If they're a paying customer and they come back over and over, they're likely to follow you.
Yeah, and I think that how do you get the customer in the door on a YouTube channel? Your YouTube page needs to not look like shit, and your links need to be places where people can click on them, things like that, right? How do you make them stick? Well, the quality of whatever it is that they're watching needs to be up to par, but it also needs to get to them. You
Well,
know,
wait a minute.
or-
I'm going to challenge you here, right?
yeah.
Because there are some businesses that are extremely successful and they're known for having a shitty product. And that's what you
It's not.
expect.
Oh, sorry.
McDonald's is a shitty product. Burger King, Taco Bell, these are all shitty products. But you go there expecting a shitty product. So the quality of the product isn't always the determining factor.
True, but like if I go to McDonald's, the same one, you know, like 3 times in a row, and my shit is ice cold 3 times in a row, that's like, even though I'm expecting it to be shit, it's like,
Well, so but you're expecting it to be hot. So they failed to meet your actual hot expectation. If you
fair.
got hot, shitty food, then you went there expecting hot, shitty food.
Well, yeah, so
So
this is kind of like the build it and they will come aspect too. Like, I'm building a new restaurant, you know? You're
that's
gonna, or I'm trying.
and so you need to do all the things necessary. And I think that's where, whether you're going to be in the politics space or any space, the true crime space, the truther space, like it doesn't matter. There are some fundamentals that reduce the amount of luck it takes to succeed. Because I mean, there's obviously luck and opportunity that has to come by, but you can reduce that and increase your odds. But I think thinking that it always has to be quality content, unless that is your brand, then it doesn't necessarily have to always be quality content.
So we were talking about things that are within your control, you know? I think really the only 2 things that are within your control is the quality and then how you market it, you know?
What about the amount of time it takes for that quality?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're in denial about how long it takes to get to that quality, I mean, there's a ratio you're trying to give it,
Well, that's
obviously.
my point. Like,
Yeah.
where is that ratio? And for you, it stems in quality. Like
Yeah, I could find a better
Chud's
balance, probably.
videos aren't based on the quality of like the aesthetics or the editing. It's based on Chud's entertaining. So the but if there was high quality editing where they took out some of the screen and did a lot more B-roll and shit like that, do you think if DK spent 2 days actually editing the videos and adding B-roll and adding whatever, do you think the views would go up substantially?
I would say probably not. Um, just because like it's the relevancy aspect. Like I'm hearing like timeliness is kind of what I'm getting from this, you know. Like if that Ched video doesn't go up like the same day, it gets stale really quick because the drama is not as fresh a couple days after, you know. So him being a drama streamer, he really has to like tailor that specifically. So that's kind of the thing, right? How do the big content, in my opinion, the biggest, right? Like Chud Logic, Not So Erudite, Brittany Simon, Mr. Girl. How is it that they managed to stay so successful? I do think that they operate in their own particular lane, which is good for each of them because they're not eating each other's audience. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna try to be in an entirely different freeway.
You can always schedule a breakfast with Nick Fuentes for chicken and waffles. That's
I honestly, high key, I think shooting Nick Fuentes' portrait would be fucking crazy awesome. That would just be pretty nuts.
um,
Just I don't know what the ethics or the morals of that are, but
I
that would be
mean,
a pretty cool photo.
there's pictures of Hitler, so somebody had to take them. Now,
Somebody
the
to take
most
him.
important question I have is that like an old school Casio watch on your wrist?
Uh, it's old school, but I bought it like a couple of years ago.
It looks like one of those like pre-calculator watch Casios.
I'm so dead. It's they still sell those, you know.
Do they
Pretty dope.
really?
Yeah, you can go like Walmart and buy them and shit. I just bought this for like $15 a couple years ago. Like my other watch is broken, so I'm
I
waiting
don't care what
until
anybody said. I liked it. It's classy.
thanks.
It's Macklemore Goodwill shopping classy.
Based. Also, shouts out to Goodwill. I fuck with Goodwill heavy.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I buy clothes the kids made a while ago. Not
Exactly.
just made.
It was
All
more like
right.
Mexicans made them instead of people in Bangladesh, and yeah.
Well, good shit. I enjoyed this. I I will tell you the concern I have for you is I think, and maybe you have, but I think there's an opportunity for you to chart out where you're going a little more clear for yourself to keep yourself on track. Like when you don't want to work a day, but you're like, I set a deadline for myself, so I'm going to get this done. I think little things like that would benefit you, but doing it too much, you will turn it into a job, which is what you're trying to avoid.
I mean, and I'm also not naive enough to be like, it'll never be a job. Like, I'm really just trying to hold out as long as I can. And, like, I want to make sure that when it does become a job, it's a job that I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to kill myself doing it, you know? Like, the current job that I have right now, it took me a really long time, like, to get to a spot where, like, I have a job where I do not fucking hate going into work every day. And that has always been my main goal, working from day one. And,
My main
yeah,
goal has actually been to hear you spit a few bars for us.
you know, Will and
Actually,
his channel rap album
that was
might come
Rhinox's
soon.
dream, not mine.
There's there might be some music coming up pretty soon. I've just been sitting on a stupid amount of music to see what's
I'll
up.
tell you. I'll make you a deal. If you DM me three of your favorite beats, I'll write some bars and put them on there, and you can embarrass me for them too.
Holy based. Let's at least get you to do a hook. That'd be awesome. The F bombs for
I'll
you hook.
yeah, I'll fuck with you.
Spit
I
some hot fire.
actually, I don't really do any of it anymore, but I fucked with music all the way back to when we used to have to make beats by finding a fucking horn sound on a record, isolate it, overlay it on a fucking, pad. Uh, I, I, I've been around this for a long time, but I don't do it. I had some friends that did, so yeah, I'll fuck around if you send me something. I'll have some fun with it.
Definitely.
All right. I asked anybody if they had any questions. They didn't. I think we made it interesting, like not drama enough for them to want to come yell about whatever they were going to talk shit on you for.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty low temperature to me. I don't know what they could really come on and bitch about, so
Yeah. This happens with like the same thing happened with Drazi. Drazi was like, wow, this was overly pleasant. Like, okay.
very yeah, rare in our space, you know? It's true.
All right, buddy. We will get no views for this, but if you want to chat about any of this stuff, um, feel free to anytime hit me up.
It's been a good conversation, buddy. I'll see you later.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Peace. Well, alrighty, gang. Another Will and his channel production. Probably none of you watching. That's completely okay. I hope it was an enjoyable conversation. If you made it all the way to the end, like, comment, subscribe. If you're one of the new subscribers off of, the feudalist hierarchy of online politics, it's nice to see you. Oh shit, all my stuff is fucking up. Hopefully that didn't just completely bork my entire thing. Um, Nuno Figueroa watched the full stream. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching the stream. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I gotta go start making hamburgers. So I got that going for me, which is nice. See y'all later. Peace.